Hello, everyone. My name is Wanjiro Muraidi, and welcome to Conversations with Wanjiro, the South African edition. I was going to say the Winelands edition, but we're not quite in the Winelands. We're in the kitchen in Cape Town, Spencer's kitchen. Spencer is a good friend of mine who I met 10 years ago. We'll talk more about that later. And you will be telling us about your story, the work you want to do in the wine industry, how you started, and all that jazz. You've put on quite a spread for me. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
But let's go to the beginning.
You're not drink water.
I'm not gonna drink all this. I'm not taking them with me back.
No props.
So
Props for you.
the only thing that you really did for me is to make sure
I put on a
that
show.
you put on a show in your kitchen. Anyway, over to you. Maybe introduce yourself and we'll get right onto it.
Super. No worries. No worries. So as Manjiro has not very articulately said, my name is Spencer Fondaumiere. And I live in Cape Town, South Africa. And I work in the wine industry here. Have worked in the wine industry here for a good long time. And I put back home, I'm involved in a wine export and distribution business in Nairobi. Well, in Kenya, mostly in Nairobi, but generally speaking in Kenya, and in Rwanda as well.
Okay.
Is that enough?
So home is Kenya? I didn't get that part really clear.
See what you did there. Yes, absolutely. Home is Kenya. I was born and raised in Nairobi. And I lived in Kenya for 25 years.
But you look 25.
You're so kind. Thank you. I'm not.
You're not 25, yeah.
No. In fact, I'm rather quickly closing on the number that I'd have lived here almost as long as I lived in Kenya.
Okay, we're at the halfway point there. That's really
We're getting there.
Mm-hmm.
I got so went to St. Mary's. Was
correct.
Which was cool, and I was a Saints guy, Saints boy all my life. From Standard 1 all the way to IB2.
Oh my goodness, that's a long time.
Proper OG, very ingrained. And then it was cool, and I think like most people in Saint, rugby was the passion.
I was going to ask about that, so I'm glad you brought it up. Right?
Okay, please ask.
Did you play rugby?
I did.
How far did you go?
I played quite a lot of rugby. So I got to be the captain.
That's huge. I didn't know that.
In that world, yes, no, at the time, if my life had ended the year after I was Saint captain, that was my imagine you're being a kid going to the same school. Rugby was massive then. Unfortunately, not so much now, but it was massive then. It was a proper rugby school. I mean, when Saints would win, Saints would really get an extra day of holiday.
Wow!
I know.
And they hosted it in Blackrock
Every year.
I never got to go.
No way.
I never have attended. So I've missed something.
You might need to explain where you were.
No wonder my head is not quite proven right. Yeah. The one time you could have gone to Saints, but I did come to Saints for a musical theatre show.
I
think
I'll circle back there. It's an interesting story around that. Yes, about music. No,
about
the same music.
I think it was called Pirates of Penzance.
Oh, showing your age.
I'm showing my age. I'm sure you were in the school then because you were there for a long time. But
I was in the school. I was in the school.
So I was in high school though.
Yeah.
I was in high school in Precious Blood, and you don't get to go out much. But for whatever reason, the nun, our deputy headmistress, I don't know, I guess being a convent, or through her connections, she was able to take, I think it was 5 of us out on this particular night for a theatre show.
How did you get to be the chosen?
I have no idea, but I'm glad I was chosen.
I'm sure.
I am just glad I was chosen, right?
I didn't know you had Precious Blood. Let's explain it.
Is this where I should sit somewhere?
Give me flowers. No, it's great, man.
So you were captain?
Yeah. So okay, no, sorry, back there. So it was big because it was everything, right? So and then the rugby team was revered. cafe, everyone knew you get special, not special meals, but you get special treatment or things like that. So you were in awe of it. And when I remember, like, really earliest memories going to watch the games and stuff, and everyone, the whole school would be on the side and all these guys, 15 guys in the pitch were just heroes. Of course, one leader, right? So one captain, that was everything. I mean, it's funny, but like even now, and grown ass men who've done like amazing things will be able to tell you who the Saints captain was in that year. That
wow.
that they did. So it was a huge deal. And I had a really good year. We had a really good team. Won a lot of things. It's very cool. Did really well. And then did a bit of club rugby and
Where?
the Nondies.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Nondies is still in existence now.
Oh,
They
oldest
celebrate.
oldest rugby club in East Africa.
Wow.
Very big deal.
Okay, was it hard to be selected for that?
At times no, at times yes, can I say that?
Okay.
But very, very, very cool. And I got an honor staff, which is a really big deal. It's they give two every year for service to the clubs. I think I got mine in 2000. Well, 11, 12, I can't remember now.
Okay.
But again, it was a big milestone. And I played Kenya under 19. I captained Kenya under 19.
Kenya under 19.
When I was under 19.
What? Please repeat that for effects. I captained.
It wasn't that big a deal, but I mean, I just stayed at high school, and then under 21 as well.
Wow.
And then I got into here's an interesting story. And then I was selected for the national team, but I never got to play, which was probably one of the biggest regrets I've ever had. Is that I never actually got to play again.
For Kenya.
But I was selected in the Kenya 15 squad.
What happened there? Because
I think it's a combination of a couple of things. You're young, eh? Youth is wasted on young. Youth is wasted on young. I had to. I was probably a bigger deal in my head than I was, right? And at school, I was fairly young. I think it was my third year playing club rugby to be selected in the team. And I'll come from saying I was playing for the Mondays, and then we had superior training facilities at Mondays than the national team, and you'd be like, well, back then, I emphasize back then. Had not really screwed on as well, and I probably didn't work as hard as I could have.
Okay.
To crack it, and then there was a trip to Uganda, and I was part of the squad, and so they're like, just come, because be surprised how, again, back then, not too well organized things were. So they're like, just come. We'll see what happens on the day. Because like the team has been named, but you never know who's gonna come or not, and all of that. And so just get on the plane and go, we see. That's what all the guys had said. So you've been training, you're part of the team. And then I was there, and I was reading that. It's like, no, it's going out. Yeah, go. No black, they must call me. And I should have. I mean, I probably, who knows what would happen if I did.
Yeah.
And then I never got selected again.
Okay.
Yeah.
But don't worry, in my eyes, it's taking all of me not to get out my autograph book to try. But from today onwards, I'll be calling you.
They were much better at big players than me.
I'll be calling you. You are my Spencer Sia Kolisi. Fondaumiere.
I pray.
No, that's really, really cool. I mean, I've always wanted to wear Kenya colors in one way or another. The closest I am to that right now is wearing a tracksuit.
But you did the Kenya. You were the Kenya Team Kenya for the.
No, I haven't done Team Kenya for the YTC either. Yeah. But I mean something like that. Okay, but again, sporting, because I'm sporty. So
yes.
I would have preferred.
Tell us about your sport. What did you play? What did you?
I would have preferred that. So anyway, in high school, since we're in high school now, actually, let me start from primary school. And I actually did a speech on this the other day for Toastmasters.
In Sweden?
No, it was in English this
time.
It's
pretty impressive.
But Florence Griffith Joyner, Flojo,
yes.
the American sprinter. In the 1988 Olympics, my God, I wanted to be just like her. And I remember I couldn't get braids, so I asked my sister to do for me small little matutas that my hair, And then our school sports day, like I was gonna be Flojo. So I did the 100, I used to sprint 100 meters, 200 meters. And it's so funny that one of my biggest opponents on the field in primary school is also my good friend in Toastmasters now. Anyway,
Oh, no way.
so it started there. And I was actually Blue House female captain because it was a male captain and a female captain. But the funny thing is, at Lavington, I had gotten there in Standard 7. So you have no history in the school. But within that 1 year, by the time I was going to Standard 8, and I was selected as captain. So I think that's my little accolade in terms of, yeah.
Well done.
High school, though, we didn't have facilities at Precious Life. There was a very good hockey team, though. In fact, there were national
Very big
champions.
library, sure.
Yeah, national champions. Library. Not really.
Really?
I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. But not really. But then our hockey team was very, very. I know we're national champions, I think 91, 90.
No way.
Yes.
That's not a big deal.
And it was sort of the only sport. The other sport you could do as a first former, of course, when you come in, you know, and things have been, oh, don't call us rebels. Anyway, things have been taken away, is cross country.
Ah.
But then it wasn't just about, okay, I want to do some sports. It was the only way you got out of school. Because then you would have to run this 5-kilometer loop. I think it was there's Ilri, there's that thing that Ilri. And then somewhere you cut through and come through the Dagoretti High School road back to school. So for someone who's not seen the outside for 7 weeks until midterm, and you're able to do cross country sort of, I don't know how many times a week we used to run. That was pretty cool.
So you're running away.
Yeah, running away. But
basically.
the one sort of provincial event competition I went for, because I guess I ran fast or I ran enough.
Yeah. You're talking about.
It was held in Starehe.
Ah.
So if I get to go to a boys' school, for anything,
One of your sons.
that was another big deal. So yes, then I actually did get to, I think, be part of. I totally understand how you're part of the squad, but not quite in the selected team. And I got to play a very short game, but you know what was most important? It was on my birthday.
Oh, no way.
Yes, it was February.
Which is coming up.
Which is coming up, yeah. So we're both February babies, right? So that was my sporting thing. And then, of course, it was a long hiatus. I did nothing while at university. But as an adult, our company, when I worked here in South Africa, was very big on sporting events. And I mean, there's so many to choose from. Discovery, Ridley Watts, JP Morgan. And they would incentivize us to do races like, you know, the Two Oceans Marathon, Collins Marathon.
Yeah.
Our CEO was very sporty.
Which
Yes.
is probably, I don't know if your audience,
They know. Haven't you watched my Engage talk?
I have. I have.
Anyway.
That was very impressive. And the comments is that.
It's a big one, yeah. So that's where that came from. But it's interesting because we've never really spoken about your rugby days.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that.
No worries. That's an interesting one actually, because I think.
Cheers then, sorry.
No, thank you. Yes,
yes. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
To the sporting greats and wearing Kenya colors.
Almost. Close. It's important because, you know, it's funny. It's philosophical on this one, but like, you don't know, you know, the journey you're on, like in life and stuff, and things that you do and the time you're doing them, you don't know the impact that you have on them. For me, at that age, rugby was huge. It was like I said, I mean, if it all ended there, that was me.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't thinking kids, life, family. Just I wanted to play rugby. But the experience I had then was a lot, and then maybe the untold story, but a lot of story behind it was we'd gone through a bit of a dip at the time, things building up.
Okay.
And I was captain, and I had lived through a lot of it and played for a lot of the teams that didn't always perform as well. And I, you know, in the background, always thought if I had my chance, I'd do it this way, I'd do this, I'd do that, I'd do it my own way. And I was very lucky to circumstantially. And it's an interesting theme, which I'll tell you about a bit later. But I kind of had this whole thing just drop in my lap, and because you know, we hadn't been performing well. The school wasn't really supporting the rugby program as much anymore. And I obviously had grown up seeing a really well supported rugby program and what it looked like. And so, and I was pretty ballsy teenager. And I was walking into the headmaster, our new headmaster at the time had just joined. I was like, look, man, this is what we need to do. This is the school, this is the heritage, and I have a plan. Can you back me? Probably not in those words, but something like that.
Wow.
Which we are, I know, in hindsight. And he was like, that's great. My enthusiasm, we'll see where we can go. And he did, and to his credit, he did. And we didn't end up eventually having a coach, so it was very typical of high school rugby. Then the captain would coach the team, but I used to live it, breathe it. So I watched a lot of rugby and stuff. So coach the team, so to speak, pick the team. There was a lot of management and leadership in and around it, and with an ultimate goal of being very successful. And we were ultimately very successful. And in that journey, there's impact, because my story was everyone's story. Everyone wanted to play rugby. Everyone, and there were young kids who were like, man, I just want to be part of the team. The friends I have now who are part of that, and, we all play together. We still send the odd WhatsApp message, reminisce and talk about it. And we've all gone through many things in our lives since. But a lot of that journey and some of the leadership things and leading through crisis, having vision, putting people together, driving towards a certain goal. That was my first real experience of doing it. We had this one trip to Mombasa school that, sorry, there's no more money. We can't, because they're victims of our own success. We've been to 2 nationals already. We've qualified for both 7th, 15th nationals, provincials, tour, and so this last thing was kind of post rugby season. It was 3rd term, so we didn't normally play then. And the school was just like, no, there's no money. And so we had the invitation to play. I think it was maybe the second East African Games then.
Wow. And
because we had done well at the nationals, but we couldn't get a team. We couldn't get, and I mean, we were six. So we went about to be put up in the boarding school that everyone was going to do, and so schools that will give you a bus. That's all.
That's it.
Do.
Okay.
And between vague memory now, but remember leading a fundraising within the team, and all the guys and some of the parents put some money in, and the manager raised some money, and then one of the guys had an uncle who had an apartment, a couple of apartments right in Nyali on the beach. So, so we rented the apartments, and he had all the guys sleeping on the couches and on the floor. We all had like a big camping trip. And we had to get food, and so there was a little kibanda down the road, and so I made a deal with the kibanda guy, and they used to give us like eggs every morning, and then he did well. He eventually won that tournament, which was really cool.
That wasn't drift. Is it drift?
No, brother. This is way less. This is high school stuff. So. Okay. But it was great because then and he won it, and it was the same team that we had built with a real sort of. It was actually really well scripted, because that was the end of that playing year for us. And, we all went out in this high, and we went to Mombasa, and it was fun. It was fantastic. But there's a hell of a lot of leadership, and I never dawned on me. I was young, but literally there was a massive responsibility on me being the captain responsible for all 15, 17 other people, training on other people's children. And it was funny, because I knew a lot of the people's parents from it, and even at that age, a lot of people were like, we're okay.
But of course, we had teachers like chaperones.
I mean, we had what's called we had chaperones, so to speak. They're also on tour. But you built almost that currency, having worked with the teachers for long, that you had that responsibility, and that was something.
Wow.
We were talking about rugby for most of this, but that was something that really held me in good stead for everything else that has come up. And we're coming to that, but then 2 things before we leave rugby. Is there going to be our Zehu Kumbuka tournaments? The mind is willing, but the body is weak. That's
touch rugby, right?
I'm going to tell you, I played some touch rugby the other day. No. I was very unfortunate with injuries. Okay.
Only broken bones.
Right.
Second thing, you live in a rugby country.
Sure.
So who's your current icon? But it doesn't have to be a South African guy, of course.
Unfortunately, it is actually.
Yeah, your rugby icon, your current rugby icon.
Not icon as such, but it's very cool. It's very lucky. I mean, it's one of those things. Also, growing up in Kenya, watching super sport all the time, there's a hell of a lot of South African rugby. Yeah. So like now being here, there's you're in the heart of a lot of it, so you get to watch a lot of the games and a lot of things that happen. It's not an icon as such. Lots of favorite teams and things. I watched the Stormers for quite a bit. Okay,
Stormers are the local Western Cape team.
Joburg doing really well.
Joburg is Blue Bulls.
No, it's Victoria. Joburg's the Lions.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Sharks are from
Yeah.
Durban. Okay, cool. All right.
and it's been plenty rugby on at the moment. So
Okay.
that's cool.
Mhm.
Carelessly now living through my son, so he's in a very similar,
Oh, nice.
very old boys school as well down here, and so sports is quite big there. So they're quite into it from a very young age. So he started playing rugby now.
Okay, I know him for the motor, the bike thing,
bike,
BMX something. Yeah, I didn't know he's doing rugby.
Let me give him a shout. He's South African underage champion.
Oh, lovely.
Sorry, under 7, 8 now. So he's the South African under 7 champion.
Under 7 champion.
So yeah,
No, good
he's doing
stuff.
really well. So yeah, so there's a lot of sport
There's
right
lots of
now.
sport
So you
right
can,
now.
it's very easy to invest, very, very easy to get invested. And I think you mentioned that. That's one of the cool things about living.
About living here. Awesome. How did you end up here?
Great question. Yeah. See, I think we'll come back to this. I ended up here because of my wife.
Okay.
She and I met in the same music.
Oh, that's a bit great.
That's we'll come back to that. Yeah. So
Super,
she was in IB. And that's actually quite a whole thing. And you can imagine the sparks that flew in St. Mary's. It was like a boys' school of like 900 odd boys.
Yes.
Standard 1 to IB2, and then 2 years of girls, literally. So like, what, maybe 40 girls and 900 boys.
900 boys.
Wow.
That's not a good formula.
Like wild, eh? I know. It's absolutely wild. So she was one of the 40.
Okay.
So we met back then. And I participated in that play. It's not actually one of my talents.
Okay.
Not at all.
We know why you joined, clearly.
No, actually, it's funny. You think that was the obvious answer, but no. What it was so as part of IB, you needed to do different activities and in parallel to your studying.
Okay.
One of them was creativity, and so I had to be in a play, and so I couldn't. I mean, I'm not very good.
Okay.
I don't dance very well.
Sports is not considered creative. So you have to do sports,
No,
but then
sports
you
and
have
action.
to.
So there was a whole thing. Actually, I can't remember that one. One of the actions.
Yeah, okay.
So I need to rack up the creativity hours, and so there was a spot in the play which required. It was a choreographed dance. So when I think about it, I can't dance. I literally can't dance. I'm a human being who is incapable of finding or moving towards any rhythm of any kind. I assure you, it's terrible, horrible thing to see. But I did, and the only reason was that because it was choreographed. You had to like throw your partner up in the air, and that, and they needed burly boys who could actually perform the lift and drop, and so that's how I wound up in the position. And so she was my partner in that.
Wow.
So that's how we got to strike up a friendship, which was very unusual.
Awesome.
Which was the year ahead of me, so we didn't really mix as such. And then very interesting, found out that she's half Ugandan and I'm half Ugandan as well.
Okay, cool.
And our mothers turned out they knew each other.
Wow.
From way back when.
From way back then, yeah.
So a lot of people thought that we were the result of a matchmaking between our mothers, but the truth was actually our mothers found each other again after many years because of us. So it's cool.
Somewhere in the stars.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's us. And then he did the long distance. I mean, we've been together now. We gotta get this number right. 21 years.
Oh my God, that's a long time.
It's a very long time.
Yeah.
So we've been together now 21 years. Ups and downs and all those good things, but yeah, it's been very nice. It's like a couple of it's been very nice. No, it's been amazing. It's been amazing. We've started a whole life together, got 2 kids now and all of that.
Okay.
And then we did long distance for a portion of those 21 years.
When she was where? Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, so she came to South Africa first.
She
Okay.
came to study and then she got
Right after IB. Okay.
and then she did really well. Got a job
Okay.
right out of varsity. Good job. Literally, first job I remember, she used to literally what she paid in taxes was more than what I earned.
Oh my God. No.
Like now you must take the job. It's a great opportunity. And I mean she's been incredibly successful. In her own right. She's done really, really well for herself.